Hello YouTube, it's me, Brittany. I wanted to talk to you today about changing your name and also changing your gender. We could also get into that a little bit. You can actually change your name not just on your driver's license, but you can also change it on your passport and your birth certificate and all those types of things as well. This specifically is going to be for changing your name on your driver's license or your ID card or anything like that. I can give you more information on getting it changed all the way back to your birth certificate. That is the most difficult thing to do. Once you've changed your name on your driver's license, it's pretty simple to change it on everything else, like your passport or your social security card or anything like that. But changing it on your birth certificate requires you have to go back to the county you were born in and do it in court there. Like I said, it's a lot more complicated than what I just said, so that can be a whole nother video if you would need that. I, for one, changed my name within the first 18 months of starting my transition, probably within the first 6 months of starting on hormones. For me, it was a big justification of releasing that old self that I knew I was never supposed to be, and embracing who I am. And so I know that some of you may not have the ability to change your name now. If you're under 18, you would have to have your parents' permission. Also, this is going to be for anybody in the United States. If you're out of the country, I honestly don't know how you do it there. But most of the states in the United States operate the same way. I'm actually dealing with something, and I'll get into that, where they all have their own little nuances and differences, but they all pretty much have the same procedure for changing your name, and then changing your gender is where it can be kind of a toss-up as depending on which state you're in. But let's get into changing your name first. So I changed my name almost 5 years ago now, and the first thing you're going to need to do is go to your local courthouse and get a petition to change your name. And it's not like you're a petition or anything where you're going to have a whole bunch of people sign it. It's basically just a request for a court date to get in front of a judge to say, hey, this is why I need my name changed. And then at the courtroom, they're going to supply you with what I have right here, which is a judgment of change of name and of an adult. So if you're a minor under 18, it'll be a little bit different because you'll have to have your parents' permission. Also, if you're a minor, you don't have to do these, one of the extra steps afterwards that I'll get into to complete the process. But basically, you fill out this petition, then you go to court, and the judge you'll probably be last because for some reason they like to do name changes last at the end of the court date. So you'll sit in the courtroom, you'll watch everybody else go, and then it'll be your turn, and the judge is basically going to ask you, why do you need your name changed? Is it detrimental to your health? Is it gonna hurt your safety? Those are all reasons why you can have your name changed. For me, I also had my doctor's notes and my therapist notes with me when I showed up, and I could basically just be like, hey, look, I need to change my name to recognize with the gender that I am. Like, this name is not me anymore. That is from the life I was being forced to live that wasn't right. This is who I've always been. I need to change my name for that. Now, I am in the state of Missouri, where you also, if you want to change your gender marker on your driver's license and your ID card, you also need to bring paperwork to that same court date for your name change. So if you want to change your name and your gender, it has to be done in front of a judge at the same time, or you can go back to a separate court date as well. But for that, you'll go and you'll fill out this petition, which is called a gender designation change request form. I'll get into this later because this is different in many states, as I'm learning right now. But anyways, back to the court date. So once the judge goes over this paperwork with your doctor and your therapist that prove that you're a female or you're a male, whichever gender you identify with, and you need to change your name and your gender for that case, the judge will then approve your name change. They'll also sign your gender designation form for your driver's license and your ID card, so you can change that M to an F or that F to an M, depending on which you prefer. Like I said, we'll get into that because it gets a little iffy as you go from state to state. Then, once your court date is done, then you're not done. You actually have to publicize it. So, after your court date is over, you need to take this paperwork that you get from the court, the judgment of your name change. You need to take it to a local publicized newspaper. It can't be an online paper. It has to be a public paper. So like if you live in St. Louis, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, the Denver Post, if you live in Denver. It could even be your local paper. So like I live here in Vail, Colorado. I could publicize it in the Vail Daily if I wanted. I personally did it in my local paper, the Daily Guide, which no longer publicizes anyway, so I got it just in time. But basically, you have to pay the paper whatever amount they want for an ad that says, this is a legal name change, and it has to be in the paper for 3 consecutive weeks. And the reason for this is if you have any creditors or debtors or anything like that, this gives them information publicly that you've changed your name, so that if somebody comes back to you from your old name, you can be like, I don't know that my name has been changed. Like, and if they try to, I don't know. That's the argument I use. I don't know if it's legal or not, but I always say I don't know who that is. Sorry. But anyways, once that 3 weeks is up in the paper, then this judgment technically then becomes official. Now you can take this back with the receipt from the newspaper back to the courthouse, where the circuit county clerk or whatever you call it will give it this full stamp of approval, which you can't really see on this or nothing, but they'll stamp it and make it a legal document like a notary or anything like that. Now let's get on to the gender change. The name change is the simple, easy thing. Like, go to court. This is not a hard procedure to do. Many people do it all the time. Like for children who only have one parent, they can get their name changed all the time. I specifically changed my name to my stepdad's last name, so I no longer have my birth last name anymore. I have my stepdad's last name, and I completely changed my first, middle, and last name all at the same time. Now, in the state of Missouri, you can change your gender in that same court date, which I did and I accomplished, and I have had the right proper gender on my driver's license and ID card since then. It's said female, and there's never been an issue. However, I just moved to the state of Colorado and wanted to change my residency, and apparently in the state of Colorado, they don't recognize the judge's signature on this gender resignation form. You will have to go. I'm going to have to get another one done, which is this paperwork right here, which is exactly the same. Literally the exact same paper that I had to get filled out and take in front of a judge in the state of Missouri. I now have to take in front of a judge in the state of Colorado in order for them to approve what has already been legally done in another state. I'm currently arguing and fighting with this right now, so I don't know if this is going to stick in stone. Maybe it was just the specific DMV that I went to. They were unaware of the rules. But as far as my understanding is, there's a 4th Amendment in the Bill of Rights, which allows all states to recognize courts from other states' judgments. So for them to deny the judgment by another state is, to me, I think kind of illegal. But like I said, I'm not going to get too far into it. I'm just going to tell you that when you're changing your gender, be sure to check how your state works and operates functionally, because unfortunately, as trans people, we do not have all the rights that we wish we could have in every state, and some states work differently. I'm finding it crazy that Missouri was a lot more simpler to get my gender changed than the state of Colorado is. But as of right now, I've just kind of conceded to the fact that I'm probably just not going to change my residency for a while until I can get all this filled out, which basically means I have to go back to a therapist, have to go back to a doctor, and back to a judge and set up a court date and pay more money for something that's already been done. Like I said, with your gender change, it's always a little bit different, but it shouldn't be too difficult. I'm dealing with an issue now, and once I get the issue resolved, I promise I will tell you guys exactly what went wrong and what we did to fix it. Anyways, I wish the best of luck to any of you guys if you guys are in the process of getting your name changed, in the process of getting HRT started. Once again, don't forget to ask me any questions you feel you would like. I can do another video on them for sure. If if you like this video, please go ahead and subscribe. I am growing viewers every day. My subscriber seems to get higher and higher. Let's keep it going. Please share this if you feel like it could be used by somebody else. My whole objective here is to help people. I know that being transgender can be difficult, and dealing with some of the aspects of transitioning can be, frustrating if you just don't know what you're doing, if you're just unaware of the processes. Well, that's what I'm here for. I went through all that myself. I'm here to help you. So once again, please subscribe if you like this channel. I love every single one of you guys, and we'll talk to you guys all later. Bye-bye.